The Lions finally burying their demons of 2023 to become Lion Kings in 2024. And history repeats as goal scorers pay tribute to former heroes, while coaching royalty celebrate another trophy. There's one final volcano for 2024. Damo's Animal Fact will wrap up the year, and one lucky viewer will win $5 grand in Brownie's final quiz. The party's only just getting started, so join us for a very special grand final edition of the all-powerful, the all-conquering, the Sunday Footy Show.
Yes, a very good morning. It is great to have your company for the next couple of hours as we reflect, we dissect, we analyse. We'll just go through it all again, but more importantly, we'll celebrate that roaring success that was Brisbane's premiership win at the MCG yesterday. As we welcome the panel with a little bit of a heavy heart, I've got to say. Damien Barrett's here.
Yeah, there is a heavy heart today, isn't
No,
there,
it's
TJ?
you being here, isn't it?
Oh, that as well. Yeah, I get that. One of the great grand final stories, isn't it? The 63-year-old coach, a player who never played the game, I should say, a coach never played the game. One of the great stories.
All right, and I know that you've got another chapter to that story coming up in just a moment.
Yes, involving Joe Danaher. We'll get to that soon.
Yeah. Kane, it is with a heavy heart.
It is, TJ. Yeah, really sad. Like, it's been the best time I've ever had on Sunday mornings with you guys. So to do it for the last time is a little bit sad, but I'm looking forward to celebrating what was an unbelievable game of football, and the Brisbane Lions were just devastating yesterday.
Can you at least thank him personally for once? Because he's really upset.
He's still going on about that.
He's still going on about it.
I'm actually not.
Yeah, you have been.
I haven't.
You just said upstairs before, and you can thank us.
I'm not still going on about it.
No, you are.
Kane, save it.
Tony, thank you. You've been a joy to work with.
Kane.
You're as good as they come.
Kane.
One of the best hosts I've ever seen on
Kane,
TV.
save it.
Newsreader,
Save it.
terrific
Save it.
radio anchor.
Save it. Thank you. Matthew Lloyd's also here.
Thanks, TJ. I knew Kane had checked out long ago when... put your feet up, Kane. Put your feet up. Put your feet up.
No, because this is... They've lost my shoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, you gave us the boot, so we've taken them off.
So,
They don't even give you shoes
and
anymore.
I'm cool these days.
So he's wearing these. I knew Kane was gone.
No,
Where are the Hockers?
We didn't have the handball today, so you couldn't see my feet
No
until
plasma.
you...
No plasma work today?
No plasma. We're
You've checked out, mate. You've checked out.
I don't often always get up in front of the...
Yes, you do.
So, TJ, Katy Perry was magnificent yesterday. That was the highlight for me, not the Sydney. No, why? This was a disappointing grand final. Lions were magnificent, but Swans again did not turn up, TJ. So did not show up, and it was made for a very, very disappointing grand final.
Geez, did I misread the play, did I? Because I thought it was fantastic to watch brilliance unfold before
When
your
a
eyes.
game's over so quickly, geez, it's disappointing. How often happens in grand finals?
Sorry, I know this is Kane's last show. Are you replacing Kane for next year, are you? With the negative
comments on it.
attitude?
It was a bit of a volcano.
No, and to the Brisbane fans, it's not about you. You just did your job, but disappointed. I'm saying people say, "Oh, you don't give Brisbane any credit." I'm certainly going to give them credit today because they just smashed.
You're talking
the
for the
Swans.
neutrals who rock up and want a great game.
Exactly.
But I was a neutral. I loved it. I loved every moment of it.
Because you're celebrating Fagan and you wanted the story for Chris and the Fitzroy and all that sort of thing. For me, as a neutral, just wanted a great game. Very disappointed.
Nathan?
Yes, Tony, it wasn't a great game, I agree with Lordo, but I thought one of the greatest moments was at the final siren when Darcy didn't celebrate with the teammates. He ran straight to the bench to his other ruckman in Oscar McInerney. I thought that was a nice touch.
Absolutely, and nice touches all round, that's for sure. So we will be celebrating whatever your views might be on that grand final, but you're right about Katy Perry. She was absolutely sensational, one of the AFL's best pre-match entertainers.
Ask you, have they managed to move Lordo's Mercedes-Benz out of the valet Crown yet?
Well, it was a
normally
little
when
odd.
you park at valet Crown, you take your keys out of your pocket and hand to the attendant, but you've parked it right in the middle of the driveway the other night, and then you've gone into the function 4 hours later, come down, and they were filthy with you.
It's fair to say it was a big mistake by me.
And did you steal a footy from a function to give to the car park attendant and say, "There you go, mate, I'm sorry"?
I was actually taking it for my son, but the car park attendant thought it was for him as an apology, so I had to follow through and give it to him.
And then when I raised that the other night in the presence of your son, he's dirtied up, and you said, no, it was only one of those foam ones. And I said, no, it wasn't. It was a leather Sherry with the AFL
It was
logo
fun,
on
but
it.
I don't think you knew the difference between the two. Unfortunately.
That's what private schooling does for you, Lotto. All right, let's head out to the Brunswick Street Oval, the spiritual home of the Lions, because it was Fitzroy's home ground. Well, until 66, I think it might have been, Damo. But Jess Webster is out there for us this morning. G'day, Jess.
G'day TJ, so great to be here. We're awaiting any moment now for the players to arrive. Thousands of fans have already packed in here at Brunswick Street Oval at the moment. They're coming in from all angles around this amazing venue. The rain is also expected to come in from all angles today, but I don't think that's going to dampen any spirits at all. We're all really looking forward to seeing the players. This is, of course, stop one on their premiership celebration tour. They'll head to the airport a little later on. When they land in Brisbane, they'll head straight to Springfield to celebrate with the fans back home in Brisbane. Of course, the AFLW team is playing later this afternoon as well in Brisbane. So many celebrations ahead for the Brisbane Lions team at the moment. We are expecting them any moment now. Can't wait for it.
All right, and as soon as that bus arrives, we'll be heading back to you, Jess, and I know that you've got a swag of players lined up to have a chat to. So stay tight and stay dry too, because that rain is about to hit. Not just the rain in premiers, but the rain full stop. I'm glad it held off. A crowd of just over 100,000. I mean, extraordinary, and puts to bed any of those fears about, two non-Victorian teams. But it was great, and here's the final score.
It's a 60-point thrashing. It was tight early in the first quarter, but then 12 goals to 2 in the second and third quarters set it up for the Brisbane Lions, and they were delirious in the last quarter. I think most of them weren't even playing football in the last quarter. I saw a couple of players hugging on the outer side when the ball was on the other side of the ground. So what a time it would have.
The hard times and a career best year for Dane Zorko, still going strong.
When you talk about special moments, I thought one of these special moments was late in the game when Joe Danaher kicked his final goal, as it would, and everyone just came from everywhere to get around him. Yeah,
TJ, there's now a very, very strong chance he has played his last game of football. There was a conditioning and an awareness of that news. Kane made aware of the Brisbane Lions officials prior to the game. I believe it was about a month ago or thereabouts. There had been some, I suppose, talk during the course of the 2024 season that he might be considering his future. I believe that there were key people at the Lions now aware of that going into the game. And while there is still some wiggle room, and there'll be I think a concerted pitch to try and have him revisit this decision, at the moment, there is, as I said, a strong conditioning and even expectation that is it, which is extraordinary given how well he played in that grand final, how well he played in last year's grand final, and how well he played in big matches for Brisbane Lions.
OK, so more of that to come. And, of course, don't forget Footy Furnace tonight. We'll have a complete wrap-up of the weekend, including that particular announcement, possibly, from Joe Danaher. At the other end of the career spectrum, I suppose, Will Ashcroft is just taking off.
He certainly is.
You basically win. To allow them to do that, the leg rope you speak of, they were just smashed everywhere.
Well, but were they also taken by surprise somewhat by the ferocity of Brisbane?
How can you be, though?
The only thing I can compare it to is like when you two had that boxing thing, you know, like when he just came out and you were just like on the ropes.
Higher stakes on this, though. You've got it. This is the one game you get yourself up for. They were in a really good position. They had the best preparation coming in. They've been the best side all year. So to produce that on grand final, there isn't any excuses for that.
And the fact that this is now added to what happened in 2022, where the game was over in the second quarter, as it was yesterday. That was an 81-point loss. Yesterday was a 60-point loss. This can't be walked past now from this football club. And John Longmire, we know, has been wrestling with his own future beyond next year. He's contracted. But to be smashed now twice inside 3 seasons, to add the 16 grand final and the 14 grand final to the losses that he's had as a coach of this footy club, I expect this club to fully debrief this one. And I think some big conversations will be had. And
what you suggest? That they'll look at his future?
TJ, I'm not over-dramatising it to say Malcolm Blight, it got to the better of Malcolm Blight. 1989, 1992, 1994, demoralised in grand finals, left. And then the Cats made the grand final again the next year under a different coach. I'm just saying, these types of results, now that we've got 2 inside 3 years, can have a massive effect as the way you view yourself and the way a club views you. Now, I've got as much time for John Longmire as anyone in football for what it's worth. And I think he's an amazing coach, but his game plan has fallen down badly, really, really badly, embarrassingly badly in 2 of the past 3 grand finals.
And he'll have to go into next year, you think, on a 1-year deal. You know, he's got a year to go, so you wouldn't think they'd extend.
Alrighty, so now, as I said, it is with a bit of a heavy heart that we play out today's program. And for the final time, maybe someone wants to take it over next year, I'm not too sure. But for the final time, it's the volcano.
Thank you, TG. The last volcano is to Isaac Heaney, and Lordo just said...
It's actually J as opposed to G.
Isaac Heaney?
No, TG.
Oh, TG.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't disrupt my last volcano, would you? I was all fired up. No, don't worry about that. Isaac Heaney is the volcano, because Lordo just said, I don't care for injuries on grand final day. So have a look at it. He was poor yesterday once again. Now, these are the vision. Clearly heartbroken. Turn up yesterday and not give the performance that he had all year. I was disappointed to hear this from John Longmire after the game.
It was a stress reaction in his shin.
Yeah, well, there was no stress reaction in his shin in the prelim final or qualifying final, so don't give me an injury excuse after another 11 disposal performance in 2022. Yesterday hardly went near it and no influence, and I just don't want the injury excuses. So Isaac's got to look at his preparation in the big games and why he's failed again as the best player in football this year, but not on the biggest stage yesterday.
We've all enjoyed the volcano. We've all loved it. And it is a Channel 9 Kane Corns thing. On SEN the other morning, I was listening. Did you say to Kingy, I should be able to take volcano with me? Did you say those words?
The volcano's coming.
No, it's not.
I'm
putting my foot down on that one.
And then you asked, what about close checking that you do on Classified? And Kingy said, I wouldn't take that with you.
Well, the volcano's mine. I'm claiming.
TJ, you're the boss of our show. Well, that's not happening.
He thinks he's taking
What are you
volcano.
going to do?
I don't think you can take. You can't take segments with you.
Well,
That's not going, mate.
I think you can.
No, you can't.
No.
Well,
No, because
do you know who created the volcano?
Odell Hutching.
my son wasn't
Your
it?
son.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He created
Well,
it.
having lived with one for most of his
Great
life. Yeah. So, we'll have to talk about.
We'll talk
that.
about this at post.
We'll talk about that
Post-show.
if that's the biggest issue we've got with you leaving at the moment. But anyway.
I want to say, Kane, what you just touched on there with Heaney, I think Logan McDonald, what a decision that was to take him. He was limping within the first quarter.
First contest.
Yeah, his first contest. So they didn't play Callum Mills. Well, they shouldn't have played Logan McDonald either with what he did yesterday. But let's look at what will haunt the Sydney Swans, some contests that will haunt the Sydney Swans for the rest.
It's going to be brutal, that's for sure. Geez, I tell you what, the group text thing's going off. People claiming.
No, it was definitely Mitch Jones who created the volcano.
Well, Luca, one of our producers, is saying it was him.
Luca's created a lot of things and done some
Yeah.
amazing
Well, I think-
things, but not
Yeah.
not the volcano.
I think Luca was the brains behind the team of the decade, if you remember that. Remember that segment that lasted for a week? Hey, now, it is the end of the volcano, but it's not the end of what caught my eye. Brace yourself, this could be brutal in its own right.
Well, I'm going to kick us off.
You're not taking this as well, are you?
No, I'm not taking this. This is yours. This is going nowhere. Is there a more happier person with himself than Lordo? Like, what,
No.
No.
What about Footy Classified during the week? Well, they had Jesse Hogan on. Let's have a look.
Everything that is written about you is usually pretty positive. So when I had a legend of the game go at me a bit, it kind of got me a little bit. So.
We live in a content-driven world and you just want content and you want funny content. I think the average watching is about 7 seconds and when you serve up this sort of crap, Tony, and you drag Clint in with it, I just don't know where you're headed.
Yeah, I'm just surprised Bex raised it. Good news, she watches the Sunday Footy show. She admitted as much.
You guys absolutely give it to me. I watch the Sunday Footy show and my kids love it because they've just seen this thing replayed so many times every Sunday.
Well, we all do now that Kane's gone.
So you and Clint be like Hale and Pace there, just rolling out some great stuff. But you danced around the subject. You danced around, oh, Beck, I did this, I did that, it was somebody else's fault. Don't worry about it. All people want to see is the real thing.
Look at him.
I love it. How he gets, and he folds his arms like that. He's like, oh,
Undoes the jacket.
A bit like you when you're calling football. Oh, no, why do you put on a voice? Is it because you're not as good as BT or James Brayshaw? You got to, I've got to do boys too, everybody. Look at me in the box.
why didn't you pull out of the kiss earlier?
There was a moment you could have pulled out.
Yeah.
Like, you just went for half
30
a second.
seconds.
Yeah.
Did I?
mean, can we look at it again?
No, we're not looking at it again. Mate, you might not see out the 2 hours the way you're going. Hey, how are you going over there, mate?
I'm going all right, TJ.
Are you, sunshine?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good, mate. Because
I've had a good week.
I tell you what, well, mate, it was a good week, and I tell you what, the AFL should be applauded for creating that festival at Yarra Park. I mean, have a look at the crowd here.
So good.
This is some of the crowd. Look at that. That
People
is
are
heaving.
right, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the main stage there. Oh, hang on, coming up, it's the sounding board. Now, where did that crowd go? Because when I ventured over there, There was the sounding board. There's Hutchie. There's Damo. Let's just have a look at the crowd.
Oh.
No.
Cricket's
Nothing there. Nothing.
Where are they?
You are an idiot. Cricket's Barrett.
Why didn't you pad a bit wider? There weren't many there.
If anyone can clear a room, mate, too. So what I'm suggesting is next time we have those ugly protests on the streets of Melbourne, you and Hutchie get out and do the sounding board, mate. That'll clear it.
You could have just got a little bit wider, TJ. You might have seen 3 or 4 people there.
Now, about a month ago, we got some amazing vision from TJ walking out. Here it is, walking out of the Sunday Footy Show. We tried to help him out.
Those legs.
The Birkenstocks and the legs. We knew who it was, but there you were. You took the party pies for the afternoon. But would you believe?
Oh, no.
It's happened again.
No.
He's tried to hide behind your paraphernalia there when you do the quiz. He tried to hide behind, but our producer, Luca, caught him out. Let's take a look.
Luca did, didn't he?
Enjoy those sausage rolls, Tej. Sorry? Enjoy those sausage rolls.
Yeah, well, sorry, I'll put them back, Luca. Can someone explain to me what Luca actually does on this? What does he do?
He catches you out stealing sausage rolls. That's what he
Content.
does.
He's a content king. That's great content.
That was great content, Luca. I'm not entirely sure what you do.
Now, another one of our themes, TJ, is your tightness. Obviously, the $11.50 that you owe Lordo from the soup, and the fact that back in 2019 we discovered that you were selling your old merchandise that you were given by various sporting organisations, including some Grand Prix shirts, and we had to buy those shirts back, Kane, if you recall, to protect the Sunday Footy Show brand. We didn't want those shirts going out to the public. It happened again this year. 2024 Paris Olympics, all staff got the logoed shirts to do the broadcast, and everyone had to return their shirts except you, TJ. You didn't, but you were forced to return it, and Lordo found this, returned on Wednesday night. Now, not just that happened on Wednesday night. Lordo and I were in for Footy Classified, and we noticed that the wardrobe staff were really down in the dumps. They were just beside themselves, almost curled up in a coma. Now,
So ready to go home.
ready to go home. They were furious. Now, the reason for this was you, TJ, dumped 30 shirts
30.
with wardrobe and said, clean these, please.
You did.
Now, I have got so many questions. I have got so many questions. How you had 30 shirts just ready to go and why you weren't doing it one at a time. And why you couldn't do it yourself.
And explain what happened to one of the shirts.
Well, one of the shirts had a red mark around the collar. Now, we don't know whether it was tomato sauce,
Red wine.
whether it was red wine, whether it was a shaving cut, but it's gone to the bin.
How are they going to get that out?
And again, this didn't come from the wardrobe. We had to do our own digging, and we learnt that you dumped those 30 shirts with wardrobe, and that's why they were down in the dumps before
You couldn't
Wednesday.
have cleaned them yourself?
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, it's part and parcel of the job that they get cleaned.
30.
And
30.
that's all.
30 on them at once.
Well, I had been overseas for some time, and there had been a build-up of shirts.
months ago.
They came back ages
So
ago.
they're all Channel 9 shirts. So they're not some of yours from home?
No, they're all Channel 9.
Are they?
Yeah.
But how come you
Why 30?
30 at once?
Well, there was an accumulation of them.
Where do you put them all?
I don't know, in a plastic bag.
You just leave them until they've got 30.
You're actually really pushing your luck here, Damo.
Oh, am I?
You know, so suddenly you've got 30 shirts, you know. Like, seriously?
What, you couldn't wash them one at a time and do it yourself? Or
It doesn't matter. Why are we...
That's a bit
why are we-
disrespectful.
Why are we airing our dirty linen here on a program
Because you give us all a bad
that's
name.
supposed to be... Sorry?
Everyone thinks we're divas because you have a professional wheeler, you have someone making your coffee, you've got the nice soda water that comes out cold. Now you've got people doing
Stewie Ackley gives you the pies and now you've got 30 shirts.
I can't believe that.
Anyway, this... You can't believe it.
It's disrespectful.
Oh, well, mate, it's no more disrespectful than trying to con your mum into thinking that you bought presents for her. All right, we're going to take a... Oh, that just went everywhere. Stewie, get a towel, please. And another shirt.
What was it?
Plenty more still to come on the Sunday Footy Show. Brisbane
going on
fans
here?
everywhere. We'll be back after
Can't
the
you get
break.
a soda water that's not shaken? Welcome back to the Sunday Foot. You're still going on.
No, I
mate?
just can't believe.
Oh, give it up.
I still can't
Give it up.
believe. And where it got to.
Give it up. Just give it up, Matthew. I mean, like, we're here to talk about the grand final.
He did say in the break 5 should be okay.
Yeah.
5's reasonable.
You've never heard It was just an accumulation after being overseas for 2 months, and I took a while to bring them in.
You've been back for 2 months.
I know.
Oh, shut up, Damo. Seriously, you're really grinding my gears at the moment, mate. Anyway, there are a few individual performances that we need to talk about from the grand final. Keir Loman. He's just a revelation. Sorry, Kai.
Might be Kai. We just rattled him, Lordo.
He's a car.
A Kia Carnival.
That could be the new brand for Kia, the Kia Loman.
His name's Kai Loman.
Yeah, all the same thing.
4 goals in a grand final. Started on the bench and came on. And basically the first... Brisbane stood out to me yesterday. Like even Neil and Ashcroft, they're thick and they're big, but Dunkley and Berry and these big midfielders have such a big impact in finals, and that's what they did.
All right, well, the team bus has arrived at the Brunswick Street Oval. The players are now on stage and we'll be crossing out there very, very shortly to catch up with some of the reigning premiers. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. When we come back, we will also head out to the Brunswick Street Oval and catch up with those winning Lions. Pictures from the Brunswick Street Oval. There is Chris Fagan, the reigning premiership coach there, as the players are being presented on stage, and we'll be crossing there very, very shortly to catch up with them as they come off those stages. And all the big names, all the major players from that game at the MCG yesterday will be joining us here on the Sunday Footy Show. Let's break it down a little bit, starting with quarter one.
Yeah, I'll kick off quarter one, and it's the Sydney Swans. They kicked the first 2 goals of the game, and you thought, OK, this is a good start, despite I thought that in terms of winners, like, who do you think, Damo, was a winner? I remember you spoke 2 years ago and said Chad Warner, at least he was a winner.
Yeah.
Who did you rate? I thought Jordan shut down McCluggage after quarter time.
I thought Rowbottom tried really hard all day and could hold his head high.
Robbie
I reckon
Fox.
The two grand finals put together, Fox has been their best player as a collective. And look, Warner wasn't the worst of the big names, but he was not there to be seen in the second quarter, was he? Which is the problem.
I thought Chad's ball use early was turning the footy over, just wasn't hitting the kicks, and Heaney was probably the same, turn one over, and that just their ball use was poor. But I mean, they had 111 touches in the first quarter, Brisbane. They were all over them, and Sydney just didn't turn up.
Alrighty, we'll take a break. The players are making their way off stage, and we'll be joining them very, very shortly. So stay with us right here on the Sunday Footy Show.
The Sunday Footy Show is powered by Patty's Pies. Sink your teeth into it and celebrate something special. Back to you, Tony.
Thank you, Peter Hitchener there, wrapping his dulcet tones around the Patty Pies there. Let's head out to Brunswick Street Oval now, because the reigning premiers are now off stage and they're there at our disposal. So first cab off the rank, Jess, is Harris Andrews.
Thanks, TJ. Yes, I am here with Harris Andrews. This is unbelievable scenes. The rain has started here at Brunswick Street Oval, so thousands of fans have actually packed in behind our cameras here into the stand while we're here with Harris and the Premiership Cup. So I think, first of all, guys, can we hear a big cheer for Brisbane? So amazing. Harris, these scenes are so special to be here in the heart of Fitzroy with that Premiership Cup. I mean, tell us how you're feeling at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's unreal. It was such a great day yesterday, obviously, and such a great turnout regardless of the weather. We're so very lucky for the support of all the Fitzroy fans and our Brisbane fans, so thank you so much.
And how big was last night? Because you're sounding a little bit tired at the moment.
A little bit hoarse in the voice, but our pressure and our defence was unbelievable, which, yeah, just so proud. And the boys are pumped, so very exciting times.
Absolutely. Harris, I will hand you back over to the panel in the studio for a couple more questions.
Harris, congratulations. You obviously your midfield and your forward line gets spoken about a lot, but your back line again, you were like brick walls back there. You must be ecstatic with what you and the boys did as well, just not allowing them to really score, take marks right throughout the day.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I thought the boys in the back line, we stood up well. I mean, that was the result of the pressure that the boys up the field put on. You know, they didn't have any really clean entries going inside 50, which makes our job as defenders a lot easier. So we're very lucky. The boys got to work, and yeah, just so proud of our backs seven. It's been a great year, and the boys have got consistency, which has been fantastic.
One of the hardest jobs going into the grand final, I thought, was playing on Tom Papley. That was Brandon Starcevic, who had more intercept possessions than anyone else. He had 8. Yourself, you had 7. But would you think that it's probably Brandon Starcevic's best game of his career on the biggest stage?
I don't know necessarily if it's his best game, but yeah, he's an absolute dog down there, Stars. His work to nullify the best small forward in the league week to week is incredible. He sets himself for that, and we as teammates absolutely love the way he goes about it. So yeah, it's so exciting for him. He's a premiership player now, which is unreal, and he just gets to work, and we love him.
Harris, news filtering through in the hours since the grand final win that there was an awareness, at least of some people at the Lions, of Joe Daniher considering his future. And we have reported this morning there is a strong chance that he may have played his last game of footy. What is it you're able to say today about that particular situation, please?
To be honest with you, Damo, there's not much changed. You know, that was all a bit of a shock for us, and you know, we're so pumped for Joey. He's a premiership player now, so he's been massive for us. We absolutely love him. He's someone that I've really leaned on for my leadership over the last couple of years. He's been incredible and super invested, and yeah, we're just so pumped for him. So however that plays out, it'll play out. We can't control that. We know that Joey's got a lot more going on than necessarily just football, but I couldn't be happy for him, mate. He's worked so hard to get here, and yeah, just pumped for him.
I'm aware that you and he don't want to make this moment about him, and I understand that, but with you hearing that news and talking the way you are right now about it, will you think you might have a chance to have a crack at him again, just to maybe give him some time off to think about it and have one more pitch to have him part of the Lions in 2025?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I can't control what Joey does. He's a lot more than just the footballer. Joey brings so much to us as a group, and you know, at the end of the day, it's his decision. We would respect that regardless, and you could see throughout the final series how driven he was to perform well, and he's been incredible. So yeah, we'll just enjoy this for the moment, and whatever happens, happens.
Harris, have you had a quiet moment with the coach yet? I'm sure you have, and what are his thoughts? The way that you've done it is amazing, that the challenges you face through injury and form this year to be in this position.
Yeah, no, I have. I caught up with him last night, sort of before our post-game function. Yeah, he's done an unbelievable job with us. He couldn't find a bunch of blokes more motivated to play for him. You know, he's had his knockers across the last couple of years, questioning his coaching ability, but he's been unbelievable for us, and we're so proud that he's now a premiership coach. He's brought so much to us as a group, the trust, the loyalty. He's worked hard, and we're so happy for him.
All right, terrific, mate. Thanks very much for spending some time with us, and congratulations on the win, and that trophy looks very comfortable in your hands there.
Thank you very much, boys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Jess. We'll check in with you right after the break. And that's what we'll be doing, because when we do come back, more premiership players live from Brunswick Street Oval. Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. It is the morning after the night before, but regardless of whatever time they went to bed, some of these reigning premiers are joining us now live from the Brunswick Street Oval. And in no particular order, we welcome Kai Lohmann, Josh Dunkley and Dane Zorko. How are you, fellas?
Good, mate. Guys, very good.
Well, we've got plenty of questions to ask you, that's for sure. So lead us off, Lord.
I'll start with you, Josh. Like you won a premiership as in your first year 8 years ago. How does it feel second time around? Now you've experienced a few more highs and lows.
Yeah, I mean, first year was incredible, similar to yesterday, but the way that you know, you sort of learn along the journey how hard it is to get to this point is incredible. So it means a lot to be back here, and yeah, can't wait to hopefully get a couple more in the future.
Dane, you spoke after the game about how you had a meeting at one point through the year with a few of the older players, and you thought, well, maybe it's time to move on from us old fellas and play the kids. Like, have you ever been involved in a year that's had so many ups and downs, but you came good at the right time and culminated yesterday in just this unbelievable performance?
No, I certainly haven't had a year like it, but I mean, you look at the year in holistic, like it was just the ebbs and flows for every team across the whole competition was enormous, and you know, we had genuine belief at the halfway mark that we could make an impact on the season, and as we got closer and we started to generate more momentum, these superstars to the right of me started to find their absolute best form. We thought anything was possible, and Faith just kept hammering home that we needed to believe. Our process was good enough. We just needed to believe for longer, and we knew we had to do it the hard way this year. Obviously finishing fifth, not ideal, but there was not once that this group ever thought that we couldn't do it, and I reckon that held us in good stead yesterday.
Kai, congratulations on your game yesterday. You lit up the MCG. You were the main act yesterday. I thought you were absolutely fantastic. Could you believe how it unfolded for you?
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was very, very surreal. Still pinching myself at the moment. But yeah, I love the MCG, coming back here and playing in front of big crowds and my family and friends. So yeah, no, it was a very, very special one. And to be holding this thing's pretty cool. So yeah.
You're on the road to cult status, Kai, I've got to say there. People are comparing you to Trevor Barker-like with your high-flying antics and maybe a touch of Jason Ackermanis as well. How are you coping?
Don't tell him that.
Well, let me ask, how are you coping with that newfound fame?
I'm just trying to be myself out there and play my role for the team and try to stay humble as the games go on. But yeah, I'm just trying to be myself out there and celebrate and carry on a bit and bring the energy for the older blokes.
Hey, Josh, the lead up to the game this week compared with how you guys were last year, you got to Melbourne a day earlier, you seemed relaxed. We're not saying this in hindsight. We, as a show, commented during the week that you, as the team at Brisbane, seemed more relaxed than the Swans going into the game. Were you conscious of that? And was it a real, I suppose, focus of the group to be that way as best you can?
Yeah, I mean, we sat down after last year's grand final and talked about a few different things that probably didn't help us on the day, and one of those was the sort of the rushingness of the coming down on the Thursday night and then being rushed into the grand final parade and captain's run the next day. So we thought it'd be wise to come down a day earlier this year, and I thought, yeah, I mean, it obviously shows that that it was successful, and that it's, yeah, probably if we get down here again in the future, we'll be doing the same thing.
Hey Dane, have you reflected back with a few of the veterans with you about the times where everyone was leaving your club? You lost about 6 players in the one hit, and now you're standing here, a premiership, and what the club has become since then?
Yeah, we obviously, hang on, chance going up around here. Here we go. Yeah, we reflected a little bit last night of, those years, 14, 15, 16 were very difficult for the club as a whole. We weren't going that well upstairs and downstairs, we just had no stability. But I'll tell you what, all that hard work that's gone in before, it was certainly worth it when that final siren went yesterday, and I think you could see the jubilation and just the absolute relief when that siren went, that we were able to overcome so many hurdles, not as players but as a whole football club, and to repay the faith and the reward to all our amazing fans that have stood by us through this very difficult time was truly amazing.
And Dane, it was a nice touch, as Lordo spoke about a little earlier, with Fags affording you the opportunity to help lift the Premiership Cup.
Yeah, TJ, when I handed over the captaincy in 2022, he actually said to me, if we ever get to that day, you're going to be the first one up there holding up the cup. And at the time I thought, oh yeah, sure mate. And he actually, he come up to me and said, you're going up. And yeah, that was a really special moment.
There was no doubt it was always going to be Darcy Wilmot. How did he perform last night?
Kai, you can take this one.
Yeah, he was up there with best. No, I didn't actually see him. But he's a great mate of mine, and he brings a lot of energy. He's a lot, but he's awesome. So I think he's enjoyed himself out there with a few little fans, which is good.
Hey, Kai, you played it down before, but we don't. Obviously, there's a lot of personalities that are smashed out of the game, and you are. I reckon you chested that many blokes after the prelim win. You're jumping up and down for ages. Is that something that people at the club have spoken to you about? Okay, you've got to rein that in at times, and they've said, no, you can be yourself because you train hard and you keep it all in the right way?
Yeah, I think so. I just try to be myself and bring energy. I don't think anyone pulls me inside and says tone it down a bit, but I sort of got to find the balance of when to be serious and when to carry on, and I think 99% of the time I can carry on, so it's been great, and the club lets me be myself, which is nice.
Well, don't carry on too much, mate, because Kane will be after you.
Oh, I love him. He's one of my absolute favourites. Josh, I'm interested how you recognise those that had such a big influence but didn't play yesterday, and Brownie touched on Oscar McInerney and the team-first attitude and how his performance and his courage will live forever. But then there's players like Link McCarthy and Kitty Coleman. How were they last night?
Oh, they were unbelievable. Obviously disappointed probably deep down, but the support that they all gave us as a group was incredible, and they never wavered from that. The boys are obviously disappointing not to be out there, but we love them all. They know that. We know that they love us too. So it'd be great to have him back next year, and yeah, hopefully they make us stronger.
Guys, I know you're all close to Chris Fagan, but we just said before, just remind people, 2 years ago he was stood down as the coach of your club. Can I just get one of you, maybe you, Dane, to just talk about what it means for you to watch him go through those 2 years and get to yesterday?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously there was a lot happening externally, and Fags did a really good job of shielding us as players from that. He kept business as business at the club. Everything that was happening off field, he kept at home, and there's no doubt we knew at times that he was probably struggling with it a little bit, and all we could do was wrap our arms around him, support him as best as we possibly could, and I thought as a club we did that really well, and for him to be so brave during it all and just continue to work and give us the best, possible opportunity to go out and perform each week was truly amazing, and he's an incredible story. I mean, he certainly had his stories written about him this year, and I actually reckon it's his best coaching performance. I mean, the club was up against it at 2-5. We had no right to be where we were yesterday afternoon, but he stuck fat. He knew that our process was good enough. He only deals in facts, and he kept reminding us every single week that if we could get it and click it all together, we could give this a serious shake, and he never wavered from that one iota, and I'm just so thankful and so grateful that he's been able to lead us this year, because he's a truly incredible man.
Hey, Kai, do you often reflect on, I think you're a good enough player that you would have got the opportunity no matter what happened, but Lincoln McCarthy going down, an opportunity presents and you've taken it with both hands. You were the sub for so many times as well throughout your career, and now you've become the player that you've become. Like, talk us through your journey to get to this point.
Yeah, it's been a hard couple of years, moving away from home and then having 3 surgeries in a year and a half. Not having a pre-season since my bottom age in my draft year. So I think having a full pre-season this year gave me the best chance to play my best footy, and Lincoln McCarthy's my mentor, a great mate of mine, and someone I look up to a lot and go over vision and lean on. So he's been great for me this year, and especially this finals period. Yeah, he's great, and yeah, I'm so glad that I got the opportunity, and yeah, I'm just taking it and yeah, rolling with the punches.
Josh, often we hear post-game that the players that have had some adversity throughout the year with their body, Lachie Neale, one of those, Eric Hipwood probably the same with his osteitis pubis. Just explain some of the things that they've had to do to get themselves up for yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 boys that you just mentioned, I think if you look across the whole group, and I reckon every club would be the same, everyone's got little injuries that they're carrying this time of year, and I think that's the best thing that the club have done. And Fags, Zork's talked about Fags, but the way he's able to realise, when we need a mental break and we have a day off, or, we miss a training session because you might be managing something, like, it's just an incredible job by not only Fags, but our strength and conditioning staff, I would say. I was trying to spit it out. But, yeah, they've done an amazing job, and we yeah, highly respect what they do and the way they go about it. So Lachie and Hippie are 2 that obviously are heavily publicised, but there's a lot of guys outside of that too.
Josh, we just spoke to Harris Andrews before about the Joe Danaher situation. Will you, like him, attempt to have him change his mind about maybe having played his last game of footy?
I mean, whatever Joey's decide, or what he decides from here is up to Joey, and we fully support him. We love him as a player and a person. I've been amazed by, the type of character that he is from afar. Like, I used to look at him and, love the way that he played the game, but since being up in Brisbane 2 years now, he's been an incredible mentor and incredible person to be around. So I'm sure everyone feels the same way about Joey, and whatever he decides, we'll support.
Okay, and Dane, just before we let you guys go, what's the next few days look like for you?
Yeah, well, we'll obviously get down and support, get around our fans that have come out and supported us throughout the whole year down here in Melbourne this morning, and then we'll get our chartered flight back to Brisbane. We'll go out and watch our girls play this afternoon at Springfield, and then, yeah, 5 o'clock I think we get presented to the crowd, which I think there's going to be a lot of people there. So we're really looking forward to that, and then our festivities will kick on from that. But yeah, we're just going to keep enjoying this moment for what it is right now, and day by day we'll take it, I reckon.
And Dane, is it true that Kane Cornes was spotted this morning and got caught up in your celebrations?
He was in the middle of it. He was absolutely in the middle of it. And we're happy. Thanks, Kano. Good Kane. Words of wisdom from Kane. Words of wisdom.
Beers with Logs. Was he? He was in the spa.
He was in the spa having beers with Logs.
He's having beers.
Great stuff.
Enjoy.
Good on you guys. Thanks very much for joining us, and enjoy your flight back. Not the first time you've been on a plane this year, but it's going to be the last time and the most enjoyable flight of 2024. So good on you.
Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
They were brilliant, weren't they? That was good. So what happened?
Well, I was going down to do a treadmill session. Well, firstly, I saw them all yesterday. They were filtering through salt down there at the gym, and they were doing their ice bars and preparing, and I had a chat to all. They were so relaxed, as you said. But this morning I was heading out just before 6 o'clock, and Lockie Neal and Cam Rayner were coming home. So it was a big hugs, and then I was on the treadmill, and Logan Morris came in, he had a beer in his hand, and he's come down the stairs. What's he doing in the gym afterwards? He said, "You want a beer?" As I'm on the treadmill, he went to the ice bars to have a few beers in the ice bars. Amazing. So good.
And did you have the beer?
I didn't have the beer. I was sort of 13 k's into a run, TJ. So
of course you were, yeah. Very sweaty. Alrighty, we're going to take a break on the Sunday Footy Show. We'll be heading straight back out to the Brunswick Street Oval in just a moment and catch up with more of those players wearing that winning grin.
Get on board. We can't go back to where we started from, so push on forward. If it feels right, then don't let it die. Follow the feeling that you got inside and let it fly, let it
An amazing $5.2 million in excess of for My Room on Thursday night. And thanks to everyone who not only was there at the Palms at Crown, but also those who donated, be it individuals, families, corporations. The support was amazing, and also from the amount of footballers who actually came through the studio and on stage that night. It was terrific to see so many big name players like Patrick Cripps, Marcus Bontempelli, Nick Dacos,
Harris Andrews,
Will Day.
Will Day. The list goes on and on and on. Who are
Acker.
Jason Ackermanis, that's right.
Cody Waitman.
Yeah, Cody Waitman, who are ambassadors for My Room. So it was great to see.
Andrew McGrath's the only one we missed, so he was there as well.
Andrew McGrath, who's probably the most not influential ambassador, but passionate ambassador, if I can say that. He's been such a part of My Room for so many years. Let's talk about a couple of individuals from yesterday. Darcy Fort, what a great story he is.
It was a great story. So it was meant to be an advantage for Sydney going into this with no Oscar McInerney, but I thought Darcy Fort, they had a clear plan. If they could grab the ball out of the ruck and push it forward or kick it forward, he did it 3 times in the first half. Then Joe Danaher comes in, he did that. Doesn't get the job done. And I thought that Brisbane needed to bring the heat onto Brodie Grundy. Look, he had a fair amount of the ball yesterday. He was far from their worst player, but I thought the Brisbane Rucks did the job.
Yeah, I reckon it's another lesson. Don't pay ruckman big money, because premiership-winning ruckman, you go back through the history of it, very rarely are they star ruckman. Max Gawn aside, probably in 2021, but you go through the history of those premiership-winning ruckmen, it goes to show you just need a ruckman who competes. You don't need to pay 2 ruckmen $1 million a season. You just don't, because you can get Darcy Fort to compete, you can get Oscar McInerney to compete. Reece Stanley last year, we've seen it time and time again. Cameron from Collingwood, that they've been to a club, you get them again as a mature body who can compete, and they provide a contest. It's not, ruckmen aren't going to win you the game off their own hand, and I just would never pay a ruckman big money.
Just on the Swans, Kane, what would you do now? Like, would you turf out a few of those forwards to try and get another one in, like Luke Parker, Taylor Adams? How do you see that?
Yeah, well, Luke Parker's probably played his last game, I would have thought.
Seems that way, yeah. I mean, he's got a question to answer from the Swans and North Melbourne, who's really keen to add him to the whole Jack Darling situation.
You wonder where the Jake Stringer thing fits in now. If they go, well, these 3 tall forwards haven't got it done for us. Do we need more of a mid-size? Do we now really go hard after Jake Stringer on a 2-year deal? So maybe yesterday's performance changes their plans somewhat.
Just on trades, potential trades, and I know you'll be touching on that in your Sunday agenda. If Joe Danaher was wanting to leave Brisbane purely to come back to Melbourne, there would be a number of clubs, would there not, who would think to themselves, we could get another 2 or 3 good years out of this bloke.
There'd be 10 Victorian clubs that would love to get him.
But is it more around him just not wanting to play anymore?
Yeah. We believe so. I mean, this has all been filtering out now in the last, few hours since the game finished last night. So, yeah, it does seem to be a personal thing. You can hear Josh Dunkley talk there. It's Joe's decision. They'll accept it. But I know what Greg Swan's like. He won't die wondering on asking the question of Joe one more time. Listen, we know what you think you want to do, but we want you to stay.
He lives just outside of Byron Bay. I'm not sure he'd want to come back to Melbourne when you live up there. It's a beautiful part of the world.
Is it? Thanks for that, David Attenborough. Now, one of the absolute most popular segments on the Sunday Footy Show is obviously Lordo's Deep Dive. But we've given him a rest because he put so much work into it. So we thought we'd compile the best of mediocre. Okay, mediocre, not mediocre, as you say. Mediocre, which is put together by a magnificent team of producers and editors and fronted by Nathan. So let's have a look now as we roll the tape for the best of mediocre.
Hello, I'm Nathan Brown and welcome to Mediocre. And while the footy has been hot this year, there's no doubt the footy media has been mediocre. So join me as we look back on some of the best and worst from season 2024. David King is a two-time premiership player and a two-time All-Australian. So it's no surprise that he likes to do things twice.
A few weeks ago after round 4...
Well, after round 4, I thought they were a mess.
I thought they were a mess defensively.
Well, defensively, nothing's changed.
And
so
to
for me,
this model gives them the best chance to win finals.
But this is the model that wins finals.
Dogs
the Dogs to 67, Crows to 75.
Pies for the first half.
The first half against Collingwood was outstanding.
Don't worry about the Eagles game too much. The most defensively sound version of Essendon.
Most sound defensive model we've seen
for a long, long time. You know, Ben Mackay behind the ball.
Ben Mackay standing tall.
You know, a lot of Essendon supporters are excited at the moment.
I think the fans should get excited. They've got Ridley to come back.
Arguably their best defender. I just join the song with the car next to me to change lanes.
We're to join in to be able to change lanes, Jared.
As for Wispy, well, we're not sure what his excuse is.
But you're going down a slippery slope here now, aren't you? Is it 150 games without being reported? Is it the fact that you were seen last week helping an old lady across the street with the groceries? Like,
I was driving around today. I saw 4 AFL players who were helping old women across the road with their box of groceries, taking selfies of themselves, just probably stockpiling some evidence.
Some good bloke evidence.
Liam Pickering has been broadcasting so long he can do it with his eyes shut. But perhaps he shouldn't.
As Travis Boak wins the toss and kicks to the city end, so as we've suspected, that'll be the scoring end. And he's kicked the right way, Power fans.
For the award-winning Jay Clark, the pen is mightier than the sword, but the click is the real source of his power. A lot of people complain about SEN's advertising, but I don't know why. Some of them are so subtle, you might just miss them.
I think that we should change the AFL ball to a synthetic ball.
Yeah, Alex, I think I agree with you. A synthetic ball that could look politically correct. There's a few people that are rallying against the use of animal products. I actually agree with you on a lot of that stuff. Hold the line. We've got a grandmother ham coming your way thanks to Barclay Smokehouse.
And you can't ever accuse them of lacking creativity.
So if you had to pick one team at the moment that had to represent the AFL to go and play Mars, what that you would be the confident the most that it would be the winning team? Who is number one at the moment?
Sorry, reframe. What was the question? To go and play on Mars?
Yeah, well, we don't know what the conditions would be like in Mars, obviously, but who would be your number one team at the moment that you would trust above all other teams?
Which team do I have the most confidence in right now?
Because I think it's a very tough question.
And now that the footy season is finally over, we hope everyone takes the opportunity to work on some new material.
All right, what about the Magpies? What about the Blues? What about the Tigers? What about the Bombers? What about Fremantle? What about the Hawks? What about the Hawks? What about the Demons? What about the Demons? What about the Saints? So what about the Saints? What about the Selwoods? What about you, Trent? What about you? What about this one? What about that?
Reef McInnes being an interesting one. Noam Raz is maybe the interesting one.
Braden Campbell's a really interesting one. Tristan Jerry, another interesting one. That's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, interesting one.
Charlie Ballard's an interesting one.
Jake Laverty's an interesting one. Jack Martin's an interesting one.
Mark Keane's an interesting one. Riley Garcia's an interesting one.
We don't think Marcus Bontempelli is going anywhere, but he is an interesting one.
I think for me it was really hard. For me, routine is. For me, it comes from perspective. For me, it was the young guy. For me, footy clubs. For me, there's no rush. That was huge for me. You know, for me, but yeah, for me...
My question to you then, Lee. My question to you now, Jimmy. My question to you, Lee. My question to you, Jimmy and Lee. My question for you is... My question to you is... My question to you is... My question for you is... My question for you is... My question to you is...
You've got the nerve to ask me a question and even be here.
I'm Nathan Brown, and that's been a mediocre year.
Well, I tell you what, when you say the best of, that was the best and most brutal.
Take it for what it is.
Most of those are your new colleagues.
Yeah, I'm in trouble next year.
How's Daisy going? Have you heard from him?
No.
Haven't heard from Daisy?
Why do you ask?
to. Why? I mean, he's had a few things to say.
I did a couple of functions with him.
Couple of things, yeah.
Did you defend our man at all?
Well, he's not our man anymore.
No, I think he laughed.
Yeah, he was laughing heartier than
You would
anyone.
have defended me, though.
I laughed too.
Yeah.
There was a function that I wanted to bring up during the week out in Williamstown, and our cameraman over there, Dave, he was there, and funny enough, one of the prizes for the raffle at this event was a Sharon, and it looked a lot like one of the Sharons we have on the handball. And when I looked at it, it had your signature, mine, yours, and yours. And I reckon, Dave, you're going to own up to the fact that you stole a footy?
Well, everything you say is correct, but I didn't steal it. I asked Stuart, and Stuart gave me an old one, which I got signed, but and it also made $500. But the guy who bought it said he would have paid more if TJ hadn't signed it.
That's good.
That's good.
Oh, dear. I tell you what, I think we've found Kane's replacement. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show.
We've nearly broken him. It's taken us so long.
I just got the huge spray.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. And Damien Barrett's got the Sunday agenda for us.
Well, just take a look, TJ, at Harris Andrews' response, captain of the Brisbane Lions, over the likelihood that Joe Daniher has played his last game of footy. That's at least what he has been relaying to people around the club prior to yesterday's grand final, key people, and Harris Andrews today spoke about this.
To be honest with you, Damo, there's not much changed. That was all a bit of a shock for us, and we're so pumped for Joey. He's a premiership player now, so however that plays out, it'll play out. We can't control that. We know that Joey's got a lot more going on than necessarily just football, but I couldn't be happy for him, mate. He's worked so hard to get here, and just pumped for him.
It is a massive story to emerge out of the grand final, one that Joey himself doesn't want really made public, and as we know, he's a very private person, Lordo, but it does throw up a lot of questions now as to how Brisbane attempts to have him play one more time, and it also throws up what they do in his absence.
It's massive because, let's say he left the Bombers, they haven't had a key forward since he left. They've been trying to find one, hopefully Caddy's the answer. And now you look at the Brisbane Lions, they wouldn't win a premiership without him there. Like Logan Morris is still a first-year player, Hipwood's inconsistent, so it leaves a massive hole in their team to try and go back-to-back next season.
And his ability to second ruck as well
Yeah,
is very good. So a lot of teams try and carry two rucks, but it doesn't really work because one of the ruckmen aren't genuine forwards, whereas Joe's perfect. He can ruck for 15% of the game and be a key forward, and his ability to be clutch this year and stand up in big moments will be well documented.
We know the exchange period kicks off officially Monday week, but it's on now and it has been in earnest now for some time already. And one of the big names that will be dominating the airwaves in the next few weeks is Dan Houston from the Port Adelaide Footy Club, contracted to Port for 3 more years. But Carlton has had some strong interest in him, but they have not got an awareness of what he wants to do. And I believe it's because Collingwood is coming really, really hard for Dan Houston, Kane. So, again, they're going to be aggressive, I believe. Collingwood Footy Club, Craig McRae's now on record as saying he wants, as a coach of the club, players rather than draft picks. That's a wider club decision. But Dan Houston, Brownie, he's a person of interest, and the Pies, I feel, are as well placed as anyone right now to get him.
Why wouldn't you go to Collingwood? I think they're still in the premiership window with the players they do have, and to add him off half-back, and he can go to the wing, he can go through the midfield, but mainly at half-back. They need some use off that half-back line. They've had Dacos go back there at times. They've had Josh Dacos go back there at times, but Dan Houston would have set him up beautifully.
You've got to be careful. You've got to have strong list management around coaches like that, don't you? Because we saw Alistair Clarkson in his latter years at Hawthorn. He didn't want draft picks either, and he just kept trading in and traded away all their draft picks, which got them in a real pickle, essentially. Now, if this is a really strong draft, as you've sort of highlighted, Lordo, if you're not involved, they've already traded their first pick for Schultz.
Correct.
They're going to trade another future first pick for Houston. Then in 3 or 4 years' time, what does that look like? So you need to be really strong with these coaches from a list management point of view.
Where are we at with Bailey Smith?
Yeah, well, Geelong's another club that is prepared, as a rule, to use draft picks to get big-name players, and he will be used by... end up at Geelong. Now, again, how that looks, what contract is put to him, it's yet to take place, but there is an understanding and acceptance that he will end up as a cat at the end of all of this. And I can only imagine, Brownie, that given they lost a prelim final by 10 points to the team that won the grand final yesterday, and they were 28 points up in front of them, and when all hell broke loose with Max Holmes last week, Bailey Smith being added to that mix, they're going to be thereabouts again, the Cats.
Absolutely. So they need some runs. So they've got Holmes, who has run, but they don't have a lot of other players that can break the line. So he'll be perfect for them on the wing. And they'd be looking at that game yesterday saying, we blew it by being up on the Brisbane Lions, because they probably could have taken Sydney yesterday.
Yeah. The West Coast Eagles were hoping to announce their coach last week. They decided to wait for the grand final to come and go. That will be done this week. And all reports were that Andrew McQualter, had got himself well and truly into the right frame there. Now, again, that's still to play out. We know that Hayden Skipworth was down to the last few, and as was Stephen King. But the McQualter perspective on this, it is interesting because the connections he's had formerly as a Richmond assistant coach with Bolton and Baker and even Graham are why those players are yet to fully publicly commit to where they want to go. So I think there's a bit to play out there. If he is to land the West Coast Eagles job, those players become, I think, persons of interest for the Eagles, as well as the Dockers who are all in the play for them.
Damo, is there any chance of a bombshell? Like, someone told me, like Zach Butters the other. Is there like a bombshell?
That won't go away, that one, will it?
Out of the blue, like that. But a big name player that comes up late or not? Is the work being done already to this point?
Yeah, I still feel there'll be a conversation that a club will have around Mackay at Carlton, Harry Mackay, and how that works, and whether the Brisbane Lions get interested on the back of what they now have to deal with Joe Danaher. I feel that's a possibility, Kane. I know he's got a long-term contract, but equally, I know the question has been asked in recent times.
You just have to be careful, like the Petrarca situation, that you don't put yourself out there like that and a deal can't be done. You need to know from your manager's perspective that, OK, the club has draft picks, high end, because in the end, Petrarca's just had to go back with his tail between the legs when he put himself out there like that.
But will that matter come round one next year?
Well, it's. Oh no, it hasn't helped. It hasn't helped. Like my view, I've loved Christian, and he's gone through some tough times and all that. But my perception on him has changed a little bit. Going, how much is it about you versus your football club? So that's where you've got to be very careful of how you come across when you try and do these things.
There's so much that we don't yet, I think, have had made public that will play out. Kane, even just a player like Jai Sarong, who came into the Hawthorn team for the finals when Sam Frost went down. And Sam Frost may have a decision to make, given that Battle and Barras are coming into that well-functioning Hawthorn backline. There's going to be players like that have their names put out there.
And I'd be looking like a De Koning for Geelong. Not that Geelong would want to trade him with 1 year to go, but if a club could get someone like him late and give him a Godfather offer and convince him to go, then, it's going to be a really busy and interesting time.
Yep, certainly a frantic trade period in the world of football, summit involving players. We'll take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. More to come. Don't forget, 8 o'clock tonight, it is the final Footy Furnace of the year. There will be Trade Furnace, but we'll tell you more about that. But tonight at 8 o'clock, it is Footy Furnace with that man, the Premiership legend himself, Lee Matthews, and Jimmy Bartell, of course, along with Tom Morris hosting the show. So I'm sure Lee will be up and about on the back of presenting that trophy to his mate Chris Fagan yesterday. So that's Footy Furnace, 8 o'clock tonight. Check your local guides. We'll take a break. More of the Sunday Footy Show right after this. What's he need?
He needs a bullseye.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. A win by 2. Andy McGrath. How good is that? He needs a bullseye to win.
Or a 7 to draw.
It's a draw.
Now take us through this.
All right, so at half if you play the extended footage, I kicked a goal. Just got to let it run a little bit. It was a hard ball game.
The handball segment against a player from his own club in Nick Cox, he took it so seriously. Look at the narrowing of the eye. Look how serious I am. He started to think that Brad Sewell was at the end of that ball. Now, this is how serious he gets. I wasn't being mischievous when I called this a 5 because I thought it was a 5. Lordo thought it was a 7, but just take a look. On the point of impact, I thought it was a 5. I wasn't. Now look at Lordo. Look at Lordo, crack it with me. We delved a bit deeper too, and rather than you getting a 7 for that particular handball, you should get 0 because you were over the line for the whole competition.
come on.
Come on.
Football. Strong. Oh! Good pace. Oh!
Here we go.
Oh, we're on track. Oh! A world record. A world record. Well, it certainly was. What an outstanding performance that was from Cooper Sharman of the St Kilda Football Club, and another year of a lot of fun at the handball, wasn't it?
And he finished the year super strong, Cooper Sharman, as well. So what did he win, TJ?
I tell you what he did win. He's the best prize pack in football, almost $20,000 worth of prizes. So the first one up is the Tempur mattress, and you know how much I love the Tempur mattresses. Jason Nicholas and the team, they've got a great team out there. The only mattress and pillow recognised by NASA. Tempur delivers true, restful sleep night after night. Kane bought one recently, a Tempur mattress, and the Callaway custom fit AI smoke golf clubs, thanks to our good friends at Callaway. The set features the Paradigm driver and the Odyssey white hot putter, and that is almost $20,000 worth. The best prize pack in the business. Sharman 1x3 from Spanger, Schoenmakers, and Brett Delidio at 75.
I think wasn't Dills up there? Andrew Dillon?
Dills was a bit close over in Gather Round.
Qualified.
Not great for the current players that 3 non-players finished 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Did you just spot that?
Yeah. You're really glass half empty today, aren't you, eh?
It's been a long year.
Geez, they're good mattresses though at Tempur, I tell you what.
Are they?
Oh,
yeah.
You should get one, Lordo.
I need one.
Yeah, me too.
Kane bought one.
Oh, why'd you get one? You never sleep.
I do. I love my sleep.
That'd be like buying a knife and fork set.
They look after me.
Why? All right, they looked after you, did they?
Yeah.
Did they? How well did they look after you?
Oh, just good service, customer service. They delivered it. They put
Jace
it together.
Nicholas.
Jace Nicholas.
It would be like you buying a washing machine and dryer.
Yeah.
What?
I didn't say it.
You are.
Yeah.
I've said before, you're like one of those little.
You never have a crack at Lordo. In all my time.
You're scared.
I'm not scared.
You take on Brownie, you take on me, you take on
Yeah, that's
Damo.
right.
How did it become Brownie's issue? He said it.
No, because he goes like.
You are scared.
You are just
scared
because you're
of
not one of the
Lordo.
cool kids. You're sort of like, hey, get him, Lordo, get him, Lordo, get him, Lordo.
Can you throw to the next break doing the Damo voice? I just want to see it
mate,
one last time.
Don't get us to turn on each other because
Yeah,
you want to
mate.
be
Just,
here.
you've got your own problems at 7.
Yeah, exactly.
We're a happy family here. You know that. We've got each other's backs.
Thank you, Damo.
Even though on air sometimes we have moments.
Having said that, we will take a break and be back with more.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. It's on everybody's favourite segment, Brownie's Quiz, brought to you by Sportsbet. And thank you to you, Tony Barber, for making all this possible. But there is no quiz today. What we are doing is we are announcing the winner. So each week, these fine gentlemen over here, they played for a home viewer for $500. This is for $5,000. All those home viewers are in here. And the final scores, if you're interested, Damien Barrett, 16 out of the 29 shows he won. TJ won once, which was well done. But here is the winner for $5,000. And the winner is Christopher DeGeorge from Fulham Gardens in South Australia. Congratulations, Christopher. $5,000 coming your way thanks to Sportsbet. Enjoy that and have a great Christmas.
Who played for him?
It doesn't say, but it wouldn't have been you.
Would have been me.
Yeah.
All right, then. Good work, Nathan. You'll be back next year.
Absolutely.
With I wouldn't say absolutely, but anyway, let's move on now because another of the great segments, this year has been Damo's Animal Fact, and I think it's been very educational, Damo.
Trying to make it that way, TJ, and I've just got some vision of Kane now leaving us after 8 years of magical work on the Sunday Footy Show and other 9 platforms, and he's off to Channel 7, and we know it is guaranteed to be hostile, as it was for this particular gentleman walking down the street with this goat. So this is Kane walking into Channel 7, and Daisy's just come across and got bang. That's what's going to happen to you, Kane.
Is he okay?
No, the animal was okay and the guy was okay. Yeah.
Animal's okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure the guy's okay?
I'm not sure, actually, but the animal was.
I
So.
ran that on the news. That was.
Oh, did you?
Head,
Yeah,
hard.
okay. Oh well. It's animal fact. The animal's okay.
Yeah, no, we didn't run it on the news at all. Anyway, so are you expecting a reception like that?
Yep.
You are, are you?
Will you fight back?
What's this name of your new show called? Like, is it
You got any suggestions?
Kane and Friends? Or
Kane and Caro.
Just a one-man show.
Yeah.
Not sure, Nathan.
And Hutchie starting there too. So it'd be Hutchie, you, Caro, and Jack Revolt, and Nick Revolt. Nick Revolt's good.
You're obsessed with this, Damo. Every time I listen to you on any of your multi-level platforms, you're obsessed with this story.
What? The four of them are being together.
No, the fact that he's going. I mean, how dare he go? And Hutchie's going, and Caro's going.
I think I've taken it probably the best out of all of us. So.
You wanted to
Yeah, and I thought that was the right decision, but I know that I'll remain friends with you.
Have you since said that you'd like to change your vote?
Sorry?
Have you since said you'd like to change your vote? You should have changed your vote.
Brownie and
I don't believe so.
Oh.
I may have said at one stage, after he had a crack at me, his one and only contribution to our group chat in 3 months, when he had a crack, and I said, I changed my vote. But no, I want him to
Was that
stay,
after you souped it up because I didn't thank you personally?
Well, you'll have plenty of time to do that a little later on.
I've already done that.
Nitpicker.
Not doing it again.
Don't get shirty. All right, we're going to take a break. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Back with more in just a moment with Kane. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to farewell our dear friend, Kane Cornes. A man who we've grown to love and at the same time loathe, and that's why we're here to farewell Kane's career. A man who took the media industry by storm in 2017. I better say who you are because most in Victoria would know. Kane Cornes is here. Welcome, Kane.
Merry Christmas. Good start to you.
A man who has been on a network program which itself has been on air for more than 30 years. Kane now travels to football's graveyard, better known as Channel 7, where shows barely last for 3 episodes. A man we do dearly love and already miss.
I sat to the right of Kane Cornes for the best part of 10 years on this football show that we did, and I got to learn he was a very different cat. His particular takedown of Cameron Ling, I feel, was a turning point for the career that then went into the stratosphere.
So this is Lingy, 2012, when he joined the media, and this is his opinions. So nothing until 2022 when he had a crack at me.
Definitely going to miss Kane. He made his own way in the media doing Volcano because it wouldn't have been easy coming from the family of the Cornes, being the third best footballer in your family, but he certainly made his own way and made this program his own. Some of my highlights were when he was happy to dress up and take the mickey out of himself. He dressed up as Jason Horne-Francis, he dressed up as Patrick Dangerfield, and he even dressed up as Ben Simmons, which we didn't know who that was at that time, but always happy to give of himself, Kane Cornes, and he obviously gave me the ultimate joy when he stepped into the ring with me, which made me look really good. But Kane, we are going to miss you.
Kane, I just hope this career at Channel 7 lasts longer than your firefighting career, which I think you visited one fire, and also your receipts segment you tried to get, but Mediocre stole the show in that regard. Also, I hope you deliver better for Channel 7. Your thoughts on Bart Cummings' career and why he'd been in such a long spell?
Saintly 96, Rogan Josh in 99, and Viewed in 2008. It's been a while between drinks for Bart.
So Kane, all the best. I fear for you. And there's no coming back, son.
So, Kane Cornes, it is with a very heavy heart that we say we are going to miss you on our screens, or any screens for that matter. From the dizzying heights of the Sunday Footy Show to the agenda-setting Footy Classified, you can now look forward to an afterlife on Armchair Experts. You will be sorely missed, for a couple of days at least, and whilst you may no longer be with us, I get the sense we're still going to see you on the Sunday Footy Show.
I don't know what to say. I'm not sure it's a thank you, but no, it was good. No, it's been a great ride, and
awesome,
appreciate everything.
Well done, Kane.
Good on you, fellas.
We are going to miss you, mate. I know we've been having a bit of ribbing about it, but we are going to miss you.
It's been a joy. It's been awesome.
Well, you've taken it better than anyone, apparently.
I have.
Yeah.
Better than you.
But no, in all honesty, Kane, it has been an absolute delight to work alongside with you, and just I've never worked with anyone who has the convictions that you have to back your own statements,
Thanks,
which
TJ.
some of those have gone against the grain. And the one thing I noticed, not that I make a habit of reading online comments because I just don't, but I think they're coming around to you. And it's just a real shame now that you've brought the curtain down on your media career just as they were starting the morning. No, in all honesty,
Thank you.
have
Thanks
been
everyone.
a delight
And to everyone behind the scenes as well. Amazing crew, just brilliant. I love coming in here every Sunday morning. It's been the highlight of my week, and it's such a brilliant show. So to be a part of it for 8 years has been enormous, and my kids love it. My kids are shattered that I'm not going to be on it anymore, but we'll still be watching, and you guys will be here for another 30 years, no doubt.
No, I won't. Anyway, so good on you. Great, Kane, and all the very best for you in the future, that's for sure.
Thank you.
You've been a delight to work with again.
Thank you.
You have.
You're waiting for him to whack you? Or?
Yes, I'm waiting for the whack, yeah.
And you're my favourite.
Nah, thanks, TJ. I've loved the year as well. Thank you.
And Damo?
I have too, TJ. Well done. Again.
Right, terrific.
Well done,
stuff.
TJ.
Well done,
TJ.
You're a good host.
All right, are we going to go and have a party now?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, terrific.
So any clean
We'll
sheets?
see you in 2025 on the Sunday Footy Show. Who will replace Kane? Well, in many ways, he's irreplaceable. Bye for now.